Do everything without grumbling or arguing, so that you may become blameless and pure, children of God without fault in a warped and crooked generation. Then you will shine among them like stars in the sky as you hold firmly to the word of life. Good morning, family of God. I tell you this morning as I read to you during my meditation time from Philippians chapter 2 and verse 14 and 15, man, it just kind of rocked me. Paul is giving some instructions to the Christians at Philippi, believers in Jesus Christ. And Paul is simply telling them to don't argue and don't grumble. Man, I tell you, it is difficult in life. And I'll be honest, Lord, I'm the worst at grumbling. Not bad at arguing either, I tell you, but grumbling is something that every one of us could work on. Paul is telling the Christians, you're going through some difficult challenges in life, and you've got to work out your salvation with fear and trembling. You got to have a reverent fear of God, knowing that the end will come one day, but also have the capacity to deal with trials and tribulations in this life, disagreements in this life, and still not argue and grumble. The difference between an arguer and a grumbler is this. You see, an arguer brings his issues to you in a way that doesn't have a solution. He just wants to argue and fight about it. He doesn't have a solution to the problem. He just wants to bring it out so that you can have a great argument, and hopefully, if in nothing else, he'll win the argument. Don't you just hate arguing with people who just want to argue for the sake of arguing? They don't really have no idea how to fix a problem, or they don't haven't even an intent to fix it, but they can argue about it all day long. Arguing, Paul said. Paul says, stop arguing with each other. It's a difference between an argument and a debate. See, when I am arguing, I'm just arguing my side. I haven't taken even a chance to look at your side. Matter of fact, I ain't even brought a solution to the problem. I'm just arguing because I'm mad and don't like what you're doing. We can argue all day long, and you never know who the bigger fool is, the one who started the argument or the one who keeps arguing with a fool who don't know what he's talking about. Paul said, don't be foolish. Don't argue, man. Don't waste your time. It causes division. Sometimes you got to go along just to get along. Some of us need to understand that today. Just because you think you're right, and I know I can sure think I'm right sometimes. Just because you think you're right doesn't mean that you can't go along just to get along. Sometimes you may argue a mute point, but really that point is going to work out better for everybody involved, including you. But you spend so much time getting upset and angry about it because maybe you didn't think of it, or maybe because you think somebody else is getting credit for it. Stop arguing about foolish stuff. You see, a debate is when two educated people or two people who are seeking knowledge and information, they come together and they just talk about a better way to solve a problem. There's nothing wrong with a good debate. Oh, you can learn something from a good debate. I like debating, as a matter of fact. Debating means you bring your facts, but I'm willing to listen to your facts because you give me an opportunity to talk, and I give you an opportunity to talk. You see, it's not a debate if both people don't get a chance to talk. If nobody's listening, all you're doing is arguing. But a debate, both sides have a certain time to talk and a certain time that they gotta listen. And then at the end of the debate, you decide, well, who's right and who's wrong. Man, that's some good stuff when you can learn to debate instead of arguing. And then Paul goes on to say, and don't grumble either. Ooh, boy, I tell you what, this is personal. Grumbling is personal. Don't you hate it when you tell your kids something, or if you're an educator like me, you tell your students something and they go back to their desk and they grumble. Don't you hate that? You tell your daughter something to go take care of something, and they want to snap back, not in your face, but they want to do it under their breath. Don't that make you mad? Oh, God don't like it either. We've got a bad habit of grumblings. Some of us have mastered the art of not arguing with folk. Yeah, we don't argue with people. We let them say it, what they say, and put a smile on our face because we supposed to be super Christians and what they okay, yeah. But then we go back and we grumble about it. We grumble, and we don't just grumble to ourselves. It's interesting that Paul would say don't grumble, because see, you can grumble to yourself, you can grumble to other folk, but see, the difference is most time what we do, we don't just grumble to ourselves and then go pray about it. No, no, we grumble and then we make our grumblings heard to other folk. See, grumbling causes division. It causes division amongst the body of Christ, and even at your job, your friendships, and your family. People hear you grumbling and they also have some things to grumble about. So the grumblers usually get together, don't they? Yeah. They get together in the teacher's lounge most of the time by the coffee pot, right? Or even in the sanctuary, they get together. They start grumbling together. Or the pastor, he shouldn't have said that. I don't know why. Who he think he is? Girl, what's wrong? See, they ain't arguing about it. They're all agreeing. They grumbling. See, grumblers have the innate ability to agree with one another. And they just grumble. Man, they murmur. It's like they did against Moses. They murmur and they talk. They don't know how to fix anything. Matter of fact, they don't even really want to fix anything, because if they wanted to fix it, they wouldn't grumble about it. They'd do something about it. They'd go have a talk with the pastor, or with the principal, or with the teacher. So whoever it may be, they boss, they would go have a conversation about it. But it's much easier to grumble. And Paul says, don't be a grumbler and don't be an arguer. Can you work on your grumbling today? Are you teaching your kids not to grumble with you and not to go back and talk under their breath about you or whoever, just to do what you said and have a good heart about it? But are you modeling that for them? I tell you, in this life, I found that so many folk demand stuff that they can't do. We got people who don't want their kids cussing and fighting, but that's all they want to do is cuss and fight. How you going to be a cusser and a fighter, but then tell you expect your children not to cuss and fight? That's ridiculous. And in the same tone, how are you going to be a grumbler, always grumbling about your boss, always grumbling about your work, always complaining about this or that, but then you don't want your kids complaining about stuff that they deal with at school or stuff they deal with their friends? Paul says, don't be a grumbler, and then don't argue for the sake of arguing. I want to leave you with this. A healthy debate can be good. Not only satisfying, but it can also solve problems if both people are willing to listen. Difference between an argument and a debate. And arguing, no one's listening. We just spewing out words. It usually ends up in a fight or us not talking again. But a debate can be healthy because I bring facts and you bring facts. And sometimes once we put the facts on the table, we may both agree that we both are wrong or come up with a better solution. That is awesome to be able to do that as Christians. But Paul says also don't grumble. Don't murmur. Pray about it. I want you to spend some time today seeking the Lord. Don't focus so much on grumbling because you dislike something. Keep them words to yourself. Think about it. Let it roll around in your head for a while before you tell someone else and create something in them that wasn't even meant to be. You making them think what you think, or y'all may agree on a thought and both of you might be wrong. But instead, as a Christian, start praying. And I'm speaking to myself. Pray about it before you talk about it. Be blessed. Endure through all your trials and know that God is still with you.